AI companion. AI companion, is running even before I push the recorded button, and since I just did that, we will comply with all the open meeting law requirements. If anybody wants to see what those are, they can see our agenda online or in person at town hall. All right, we have no other people with us on the Zoom link. So there is no public comment. Minutes approval for the 14 August 2025 meeting. William, once again, thank you for taking the time to do those. I gave William just a couple little corrections on the set that he sent out to us. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 14 August? Is there a motion to approve? Thank you, Richard. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, William. Any comments? Other than a few minor typos that I asked one to change? All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes from August, please say aye. 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 Those meeting minutes are approved. There is no correspondence. So let's get into the determination of applicability for 1 Main Street, 3 Main Street. And if you looked at the note that I sent out, here is the current package.
Do we want to use 3 Main Street or 1 Main?
We're gonna use 1 Main Street because that is when you look at the Board of Assessors GIS map, there's no 3 Main Street. And Philip Arcio Cano, he has or Lunenburg Village Realty. He has referred to it a couple different ways, 1 Main Street, 3 Main Street, but according to the town records, it's 1 Main Street because they're all interconnected. But the building where the bulk of the work that we reviewed and where the work was from the determination of applicability that he sent to us for our August vote, is I think it's the Hilltop Farms convenience store, and he's referring to that as 3 Main Street, even though that's not a formal address on town records. So what I'd first like to do is just kind of correct the record to say that we approved a determination of applicability for new windows at the Hilltop Convenience Store, and that is 1 Main Street, not 3 Main Street. So I'd like a motion to correct the record so that when I go into opengov.com to add that determination of applicability that we approved in August, it will reflect that it's for 1 Main Street, not 3 Main Street.
Just to understand, what building is 1 Main Street?
It's the building where the little convenience store is. You know, so you have Bad Larry's,
Okay.
all right,
Oh, okay.
and you have
Yeah,
kind of the
yeah.
courtyard, conglomeration of storefronts.
All right, this one next to the town hall.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So we approved that as 3 Main Street, but technically, there's no such thing as 3 Main Street.
Okay.
So a motion to revise the record to say that the determination of applicability that we approved in August is for 1 Main Street. Is that motion?
Motion to amend.
Thank you. Second?
Seconded.
Any other comments or discussions? All right, all those in favor of correcting the record for our approval in August, say aye. Aye. All right, so now let's talk about the next set of requests that we got from Lunenburg Village Realty. And I had multiple emails back and forth between myself and Philip Arcidio Cano. And finally I said, Philip, put this all in one single request and send that to us, which is what he's done. So he's kind of modifying the windows that we approved in August at Hilltop Convenience. And he wants to put new shutters on that building. And he wants to put a cupola on top of Bad Larry's. And according to the record, the information that he's given to us is that, he's described the work. He also put in one of his emails that apparently when his father bought that property, there was a cupola on that building, but it was removed. And what he wants to do is go back and add the cupola. So he's just, the materials that they're gonna use are, basically modern materials, because the building's full of modern material updates, including the cupola. So, any questions about the work that he's asking to do here?
Replace the shutters, fiberglass lintel, fiberglass cupola on top of the windows, Okay, yeah, no, I'm fine, what's the existing shutters that are there, I'm starting to figure out.
These are wood,
What,
they're wood,
the wood,
Yeah. but he wants to make them operable. You know, the ones that are there, are operable, so he wants to continue
they're,
them
what,
operable.
okay. I don't have the problem, thanks for explaining.
Yes. Okay, so your motion to approve the new department or determination of applicability from Lunenburg Village Realty for work that's gonna be done at 1 Main Street, which includes Bad Larry's and Hilltop Farms convenience store. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All right, any other discussion items? All those in favor say aye. Okay, so that's approved. And hopefully that'll be the last of the work. I have not uploaded, the August, DOA, and now I will upload both this and the August DOA, not with that, corrected, address for the work that we reviewed in August. Okay, I think it's nice that they're doing upgrades to the property. He needs to get some more tenants in there. I think that would be helpful. All right, so master plan review and approval, the APDC items. As you may remember, when we discussed in August, there were 2 items that we were being asked to look at, and we talked about issues associated with the 2 recommendations. Recommendation 1 was assess and develop a time green between TC Passios and the Adult Activity Center for outdoor community space. And the second one, which is a little more complicated but kind of related, develop a town center plan that encourages small businesses, walkability, and communal gathering spaces. So those were the 2 items that we were being asked to provide concurrence. Do we have a bylaw that governs this? And we talked about this, and based on the comments that we had as a group in August, I said I would go back and actually fill out the form, which was a pain in the rear, because I'm not familiar with using Excel spreadsheet. And Richard, I didn't respond to your text. I apologize for that, because I hadn't looked at how to do the Excel spreadsheet. I have now. So if you want me to, I will walk you through that at any time you want to do from here on out.
Okay.
All right. And from what I gather, I mean, we've had kind of some feedback from, like, these 2 represent about, one of about 100 recommendations that have been, broadcast to all the towns, boards, committees, and commissions. And we've had some feedback saying, hey, these things, this form is complicated, and it is. But there's no way of trying to manage this without having some complicated activity associated with the review. So I'm gonna go through the questions that were listed on the spreadsheet, and then I'm gonna tell you what I'd like for us to vote and submit to the master plan steering committee, which I also sit on. And I think it reflects the comments that we made last August. So it says, these 2 items, is this controlled by your board's bylaws and policies? And I said yes, because both town center and the potential green around TC Passios is in the architectural preservation district. So the next one, so I answered yes for both of those. So the next one is, do we have a bylaw or a policy on this already? And I said yes, because we have chapter 113. And then it says, if yeah,
What's chapter 113?
that's the architectural preservation
Okay,
district
yeah.
bylaw. And then it says, if yes to 2A, provide the source, the bylaw. So it's chapter 113 for both of those. It says, how does this recommendation align with your committee's current goals and priority? And I think that doing more to enhance town center and creating a real formal town green does align with our priorities based on the conversation we had. And I'm gonna get to your concerns next, or not next, but soon, Nathan, because I thought your comments were right on the month. Last in August. It says, are there any aspects that need further clarification? On creating a town green, I said no. On the foster a safe, resilient town structure, develop a town center plan that encourages small businesses, walkability and community gathering space. Based on your comments, Nathan, I said, additional population density is needed for town center to become a reality.
Which, I mean, technically is the planning board's purview, but it was. It was part of the conception for the village center district to
Yeah.
encourage density
Right.
of mixed use development.
Right.
And that was the same, it was out of that same thing that the APDC was created.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we can. Just building it, they won't come if they're nowhere nearby.
No, that's exactly right, they won't, and I'll touch on what you just said here in the next couple columns. So it says, related to your board committees, commission, what's the impact of implementing this recommendation? Are there potential unintended consequences of this? For the town green, I said, it would be positive as it is informally used in ways that it reflects being a town green. I mean, that's what they're doing that now, like the
Yeah.
business committee, had a big thing in this past spring. It's already being kind of used. And then underneath that, for the town center, it says increasing population density could impact historic structures in the town center. I think it could.
In a positive way, or?
I think it could be either way. I mean, depending on how people proceed.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the APDC in place, the goal is to, yes, it could impact it positively.
Yeah.
The structures will stay there, and there will be more economic value to them, and they'll be invested in and preserved. That
Yeah.
was that was the thinking of the time.
Right. So in the next column, it just says, have all the right committees been identified for this? And they have been. I mean, there's a gigantic list.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing we can do to help them with their process, I think that we talked about was sort of pre-approving the demolition of,
I get to that.
okay, gotcha.
All right, so it says, are there other committees that need to be identified? And it says the appropriate committees are identified for both items. And then it says providing additional feedback. I says the current, because this kind of goes to, the current gazebo location is unsafe for town green functions due to traffic and limited parking. Now, should I add something else to that?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I don't disagree with what you're saying per se.
Yeah.
From an APDC perspective. Is the gazebo on the town green a historic structure, or is it,
The one that's there is not. It
It's
was,
not,
it was done in the,
okay.
done in the 80s, I believe.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, the safety of the existing space is a little out of our lane.
So what if I said the current gazebo location, the current gazebo is not historic?
You could say the current, from our perspective, the current gazebo is not historic. I think related to the APDC in what you said, although the current gazebo location is a traditional town green, we understand, the APDC understands the safety and accessibility concerns and would support moving it. So we're not, basically, what we have to lead that conversation is that we would support a decision to move it based on those, criteria. Which is helpful to them. I mean, helpful to anyone who wants to be able to make that decision, assuming we all agree on that.
How about if I just say the traffic and limited parking are also issues?
Sure. Yeah, but I guess the fact that that is the historic town green location, we could say has some I mean, at least the historical can leak it, I don't know if that's really a structure.
Alright, so. The block will now read, the current gazebo is not historic and we would support relocation. The traffic and limited parking are also issues.
Oh, yeah, the current, yeah, okay, sure.
Sound reasonable? And then for the next one, the town center recommendation, I just said, village district zoning should guide town center development. Cause that does go into, we have a village district bylaw. And the village district bylaw is where it talks a lot about, allowing mixed use, having people live above storefronts. Don't need, a parking, plan similar to what has been approved in the past, but if you gotta.
Yeah.
And you could use shared parking, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing we could, maybe the things we could add to this. Would be that, so what you said,
Yeah.
village district bylaw should guide
Mhm.
new development. And if we agree, I mean, obviously, the APDC would support the demolition of the Passios buildings. As part of the town center, as part of town center redevelopment to achieve the goals of the village center bylaw. Around mixed use and density. We're not demanding that they demolish it, but we're just letting them know, like, we're not, if they get a project there that supports mixed use and density.
How about if we put demolition? No, not just TC Passios, but other facilities.
Well, no, let's be specific, because,
Alright,
yeah, I mean, demolition is on a case by case basis. It's, I don't wanna get them too, excited, yeah, I mean, like, for me anyways, I would never say that about the town hall, I would never say that about the Ritter. I also, we might even wanna say, given they're talking about that area, that, just a reminder that the APDC supports reuse and opposes demolition of the. Oh God, what's the place there on Mass Ave right by the entrance to the
Brooks House?
Brooks House, thank you.
how about if I say demolition of TC Passios would be acceptable for an increase in density?
Sounds good.
Alright,
And and just as a note. That we do seek a reuse and oppose demolition of Brooks House.
what was it?
What,
What did you just say?
the APDC supports reuse and opposes demolition of the Brooks House.
What's the date on Passios?
54, 55, something like that. It's getting close. I think that. I don't think all of TC Passios, I don't think that, like, I'm gonna put my